This is the question asked in today's skillrack daily challenge. So we are given an integer n as input and our task is to form a pattern like this. So here the given input is 5. So the value of n is equal to 5 and this is the output pattern. So totally there are 6 lines of output. So the total number of lines in our output pattern is n plus 1. So 5 plus 1 is equal to 6. And now let us see this hyphens. In the first line the number of hyphens is equal to 5. That is the value of n. So in the first line the number of hyphens will be for n times and in the next line it decreases by 1. So the number of hyphens in the next lines is 4. That is n minus 1. So 5 minus 1 is 4. And then in the third line it becomes n minus 2 and then it becomes n minus 3 and then n minus 4 and then n minus 5. So n is also 5, n minus 5 will be 0. So in the last line there are 0 hyphens. And now after hyphens there is a 0 present in every line of our output pattern. So let us see how the integers before that are formed. So at the first line there is only 0 present after the hyphens, and in the next line before and after 0 two new integers 5 is added, that is n is added. So the n is also 5, and then from the second line before and after 0 the value of n is present. So this is in the second line. In the third line after 0 there are two integers 5 4 and before 0 there are two integers 4 5. So after printing hyphens we have to print these integers 4 and 5, and after reaching the value of n, that is after reaching 5 we have to print 0, and after printing 0 we have to reverse and print all the integers which we have printed. So here we have printed 4 and 5. So after printing 0 we have to reverse this 4 5. So 4 5 when reversed becomes 5 4. So after 0 we are printing 5 4, and then in the next line we are starting from 3. So it also decreases 1 by 1. So first we started from 5 and then we started from 4 and 5, and then we started from 3 4 5 and then 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. So this is how our output is being formed. So here it is 3 4 5 and then we are printing a 0, and then after 0 we are printing the reverse of this. So the reverse of 3 4 5 is 5 4 3. So after 0 we print 5 4 3, and then here we start from 2 3 4 5, we print 0 and then we print 5 4 3 2, and then 1 2 3 4 5 we print 0 and then 5 4 3 2 1. So this is how our output pattern is formed. Now let us see how to write a C program for this. So first I am creating an integer n, and in the next line I am accepting the value of integer n, and then I am creating another integer variable named k, and I am assigning the value of n to it. So I am setting k is equal to n. So now we are going to print our pattern. So first I am creating a loop. So this loop iterates for n plus 1 times, because our output pattern must contain n plus 1 lines. So that is why we are iterating from 0 till n plus 1. So totally we can iterate for n plus 1 times, and in every iteration first we have to print hyphens, and then we have to print the integers, and after printing the integers we have to print 0, and after printing 0 we have to reverse the integers which we have already printed before the 0. So first we shall print the hyphens. So the number of hyphens will be initially k. So in the first line we will print n number of hyphens. In the next line we print n minus 1. So we iterate from 0 to k because the value of k is also equal to n. So we create a loop, and this loop iterates from 0 to k, and in every iteration we will print a hyphen. So we will be printing n hyphens in the first line, and then after printing hyphens we have to print the integers. So here again I am creating a loop. So in the first loop I am starting from k plus 1. So initially the value of k will be equal to n. Suppose if the value of n is equal to 5, then this loop will start from 5 plus 1. So 6 less than or equal to n. So the value of n is equal to 6. So 6 less than or equal to 5. So it is not possible to iterate. So in the first line we need not print any integers before 0, because that is how our output is also. In the first line there are no integers printed before the 0. So that is why I am iterating from k plus 1. So this loop will not work in the first iteration because the k plus 1 will be equal to 6 and then the value of n will be only 5. So we can't iterate from 6 till 5 by incrementing. So this loop won't work in the first iteration. So after this loop we are printing a 0, and after printing 0 again we have to print the reverse of the integers which we printed here. So again I am creating a loop, and here we iterated from k plus 1 till n. So here we should iterate from n till k. So when we do like this, the integer that are printed here will be reversed because we have reversed the starting positions. Here we iterated from k plus 1 till n. Here we iterate from n till k minus 1. So this loop will print the reverse of that is printed by this loop. So when we do like this, we will get our desired output pattern, and in every iteration of this I loop we are also decrementing the value of k and printing a new line. So when the value of k is decremented, in the next line the value of k will be now 4. So here we will iterate from 0 to 4. So totally there will be only 4 hyphens printed. So that is what we need. In the first iteration we need to print 5 hyphens, and in the next line we need to print only 4 hyphens. So in the second iteration of this I loop there will be 4 hyphens printed, and now here we will be printing the integers because now the value of k will be equal to 4. So 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. So we will start from 5, and here we are included the condition less than or equal to. So the value of n will be remaining 5 only. So we can iterate from 5 to 5 for one iteration. So in the second iteration of this I loop we will be printing only one integer. So that one integer will be 5. So in our output also, after printing hyphen, the only integer that we print before 0 is 5. So we print 5 in this loop, and after printing the integer we print the 0, and after printing the 0 we have to reverse this. So the reverse will be printed by this loop. So we are changing the starting and ending position for the loops. So k plus 1 and n. So here the k comes here and the n comes here. So we will be printing only 5 in this loop, and then the k value decreases, we move to the next line. So this will be printing continuously until for n plus 1 times. So when we iterate like this, we get our desired output pattern. So now let us check our program with sample test cases. So I have given the sample input 1. So I have given the integer 5 as input, and let us see the output pattern. So here we get the correct output pattern. So in the first line we have only 0, and then we have 5 before and after 0, and then 4 5 5 4 3 4 5 5 4 3. So this is the correct output pattern. So now let us give the integer 9 as input. So this is our sample input 2, and again we get the correct output. So in the first line we have only 0, and then in the second line we have 9 before and after 0, and then 8 9 9 8 7 8 9 9 8 7 6 7 8 9. So the integers are decreasing as we need. So this is the logic behind today's daily challenge. Thank you for watching.